She thinks you're gone, but part of her still checks her phone, waiting to see your name pop up. And when it finally does, when she reads that one text, it doesn't just surprise her, it haunts her. Because it reminds her of something she thought she'd never feel again, losing the man who could have been everything. You see, most men text out of emotion, pain, anger, desperation, hope. But the text that makes a woman regret losing you isn't born from emotion. It's born from control, psychological control. Because when you send a message that shows peace, confidence, and emotional detachment, you flip the dynamic completely. The power shifts back to you. Think about this. When she ended things or pulled away, she expected you to chase, to prove her importance. But when you don't, when your silence lingers longer than her ego can tolerate, that's when curiosity turns into confusion, and confusion into craving. The mind can't handle uncertainty, and women, just like men, are slaves to emotional contrast. So what's the text that does it? It's not a plea, not a paragraph, not a speech. It's a mirror. It reflects calmness when she expects chaos. Something as simple as, "You were right, I needed to see things clearly." Or, "No worries, I understand. Take care." Do you see the psychology? You're not begging for closure, you're giving it. And when you give closure, she loses her control. Because women don't regret the breakup when you cry for them. They regret it when you no longer need them, when you sound grounded, peaceful, emotionally stable. That's when her brain replays every memory, every smile, every moment she took for granted, trying to understand how you moved on so effortlessly. And that's the beauty of psychological power. It's not about manipulation, it's about presence. You create the contrast she never expected: calm after rejection, silence after distance, warmth replaced with indifference. And that difference forces her to think about you, long after you've stopped thinking about her. Because sometimes the most powerful message you can send is not, "I miss you." It's, "I'm good without you." And the moment she feels that, the regret begins. Here's what most men never understand. Regret doesn't come from what you say to her. It comes from what she feels after you stop trying. Because emotions are the real currency in attraction, and when you remove yours from her world, she feels the loss like a shock to the system. You don't have to insult her, block her, or play childish games. You just have to withdraw your attention. That's the most valuable thing she ever got from you. A woman starts to miss a man not when he disappears physically, but when he disappears emotionally. When she sends a text and you don't rush to reply like before. When she posts something hoping you'll react and you don't. When she starts to realize that your world didn't stop spinning after she left. That's when her brain starts the spiral. You see, the human mind hates unfinished stories. It's wired to seek closure. When you show detachment, her mind panics. She starts asking herself, did he ever care? Is he really over me? Did he find someone else? Those questions don't come from love. They come from lost control. And nothing triggers deeper regret in a woman than realizing she no longer has power over your emotions. That's why the right message doesn't chase her. It plants a seed. Something short, emotionally balanced, but powerful enough to make her wonder what's happening behind your calm. Maybe something like, "I hope you're doing well. I'm genuinely in a good place now." You're not proving anything. You're showing growth, detachment, peace. And that unnerves her more than any emotional text ever could. Because here's the truth. When you stop chasing, you stop confirming her importance. And the moment she feels unconfirmed, she starts chasing validation. That's when she scrolls through old photos, replays old conversations, and starts imagining what it felt like when your attention was hers. So don't overthink what to say. Focus on the energy behind your words. Speak like a man who has found peace, not revenge. The real power isn't in getting her back. It's in making her realize she can't have you anymore. When she first walked away, she didn't expect silence. She expected resistance. She expected you to argue, to chase, to prove her importance through your desperation. That's how most men react, and that's exactly why most men lose their power. But when you didn't play her game, when you stood still while she tried to shake you emotionally, she felt something she didn't anticipate: doubt. See, a woman's mind works on emotional contrast. The same attention that once made her feel adored becomes invisible when it's constant. But remove that attention, even slightly, and suddenly she can't stop thinking about it. It's psychological scarcity at work. The moment your attention becomes rare, it becomes valuable again. And here's where most men fail. They think distance means ignoring her completely. But real control isn't coldness, it's composure. You don't cut her off out of anger, you step back out of peace. You respond calmly, you speak with warmth, but without need. That calmness hits her harder than any outburst could, because it shows that her emotional pull no longer defines you. You've got to understand something powerful. Women test to measure strength, not weakness. When she gives mixed signals, when she pushes and pulls, she's not always trying to manipulate you. She's trying to feel something again. She's trying to see if the man she once knew is still emotionally available, or if he's leveled up beyond her reach. And when your words, or your silence, reflect confidence instead of chaos, her psychology shifts. The regret starts creeping in during quiet moments. When she's lying in bed, phone in hand, thinking about how peaceful your energy used to feel, and how different it feels now that you've stopped giving it to her. Because here's the secret, it's not the text itself that makes her regret losing you. It's the man who sends it, the energy behind it. When she senses you've healed, grown, and detached, she starts to question everything she thought she knew. So when you finally send that calm, confident message, it's not just words, it's a reflection of your transformation. And that transformation is what keeps her up at night, wondering if she just lost the best version of you, forever. Let's go deeper into something most men never realize. Women don't regret losing a man because of what he says. They regret losing the emotional experience he gave them. Every woman remembers how a man made her feel, not what he did, not what he owned, not what he promised, but what her emotions did when she was around him. And when you stop reacting, when you pull back and show that grounded, unshakable energy, you trigger something she can't fight. Emotional nostalgia. She starts to replay the moments that felt real, the way you looked at her when she wasn't speaking, the small things you did without asking for anything in return, the calm you brought when she was falling apart. That's the version of you she thought would always be waiting. But when you go silent, when you stop orbiting around her emotions, she's left with the memory of a man she can no longer reach. That's what causes regret, the absence of what once made her feel safe, desired, and understood. Here's the catch. When a woman senses you've detached, her ego might fight before her heart does. She'll act indifferent, post things to test your reaction, pretend she's fine. But inside, her emotional system is on fire. Because for the first time, you're not feeding her validation loop, you're not reacting, and that silence feels louder than any words ever could. That's when the curiosity begins to turn into panic. She'll wonder what changed, who you're becoming, if someone else now has your attention. Her subconscious starts whispering doubts. Did he really move on? Was I the one who lost him, or did he outgrow me? And that's when she begins to miss not you, but the feeling of being seen by you. The most powerful text you'll ever send isn't one that tries to get her back. It's one that subtly reminds her that you're not waiting anymore. Something simple like, "Hope everything's good with you. Life's been really solid lately, no emotion, no chase, just calm closure." That message doesn't ask for her back. It forces her to confront the possibility that you've outgrown her. And for a woman who once felt in control, that realization burns deeper than heartbreak. And when your words, or your silence, reflect confidence instead of chaos, her psychology shifts. The regret starts creeping in during quiet moments. When she's lying in bed, phone in hand, thinking about how peaceful your energy used to feel, and how different it feels now that you've stopped giving it to her. Because here's the secret. It's not the text itself that makes her regret losing you. It's the man who sends it, the energy behind it. When she senses you've healed, grown, and detached, she starts to question everything she thought she knew. So when you finally send that calm, confident message, it's not just words. It's a reflection of your transformation. And that transformation is what keeps her up at night, wondering if she just lost the best version of you. forever. Now here's where everything changes. Once she realizes she's lost your emotional availability, her mind doesn't just feel regret, it starts chasing closure. But here's the secret. She doesn't actually want closure. She wants reassurance. She wants to know that you still think about her, that she still has access to the version of you that once made her feel special. And when she can't find that reassurance, her brain begins creating it. That's why she starts checking your stories, asking mutual friends about you, or liking your old posts out of nowhere. It's not love, it's an emotional survival instinct. You see, women crave emotional certainty. They want to know where they stand in your world. But when you remove that certainty, when you take back your attention, your energy, your peace, she's forced to face something she never expected, a version of you that doesn't orbit around her anymore. And that's terrifying because it exposes a truth she never saw before. You were the stable one all along. That's when the tables turn. The man who once overthought every message suddenly becomes the one she's trying to figure out. The silence that once hurt her ego becomes the silence she can't escape. She starts to crave a reaction, any reaction, because reactions mean relevance. And now you need to understand the final truth, the kind of truth that most men never reach because they're too focused on trying to be chosen. The real power isn't in getting her to regret losing you. It's in becoming the man who doesn't need her regret to validate his worth. When you reach that level of inner strength, everything changes. Not just how women respond to you, but how you see yourself. See, what truly makes her obsessed after losing you isn't the text you send. It's the peace you live in. It's the way you've learned to detach without bitterness, to care without chasing, to walk away without anger. That calm energy is magnetic because it's rare. It tells her, and the world, that you know who you are, and no amount of confusion, rejection, or silence can shake that foundation. That's the kind of man a woman never forgets. Because you represent something she can't easily replace, emotional control. You became the mirror that reflects her inconsistency. The one man who didn't flinch, didn't fold, didn't crumble under emotional pressure. You stayed still. And that stillness is what echoes in her mind long after the noise fades. When you master that, you're no longer playing defense in relationships. You're leading. You attract people who respect your peace because you protect it. You stop falling for mixed signals because your value no longer depends on anyone else's attention. You finally understand that walking away isn't losing, it's leveling up. And one day, maybe weeks or months from now, she'll see you again. Online, in person, maybe just through a random memory. And in that moment, she won't just remember you. She'll feel you, the calm, grounded man she could have had but didn't value when she had the chance. That's when the regret hits her full force. Because while she was chasing validation, you were building evolution.